Hello and welcome back to Cyber Root Cause, your friendly cyber guide. If you are looking for a career in tech that's high demand and incredibly impactful and sits right at the center of business and security, then you are in the right place. Today, we are breaking down the step-by-step roadmap to becoming a GRC analyst. We will cover everything from the foundational knowledge you need to the career path you can take. Let's get started. Every day, we hear news about a major security breach. In early 2025, major companies like Aflac and Mark and Spencer Group faced significant data breaches. These events aren't just headline, they represent billions in potential losses, regulatory fines, and recovery costs. Let's understand what is GRC and breaks down each term in easy to understand language. For governance, it ensures security program is running correctly and is aligned with the company's mission. For risk, it helps in identifying, assessing, and treating cyber risk. And for compliance, to make sure the company is following all necessary laws and regulation. So now that we understand what governance, risk, and compliance is, let's talk about what company faces every day. These are few key factors. First, and the one we see in the news almost daily, is costly data breach. These aren't just small incidents. We are talking about events that cost companies millions in damages and recovery. Second, massive regulatory fines. Governments all over the world are enforcing strict rules and regulations like GDPR and CCPA. Companies have to follow these regulations or they face massive fines if they do not. And finally, a factor that might be the most important of all, damage public trust. Trust is the hardest thing to build and the easiest thing to lose. In the age of social media, news of security issues travel at the speed of light. One mistake and your company's reputation is on the line. So you have these three major factors: costly data breach, massive fines, broken public trust. These are key factors driving the incredible demand for GRC professional in cybersecurity today. That brings us to the next question. What does a GRC analyst actually do day to day? As the slide says, they are the architect of orders. Their job is to align technology with business goal, all while managing risk and ensuring compliance. And it's time for a quick myth buster. A lot of people think GRC is just about paperwork and reviewing documents. That is not the case. The reality is it's hands-on crisis management and prevention. So what's driving this huge demand for GRC role? There are few key market drivers that are impossible to ignore. First, there is an absolute explosion of data. Think about it. Companies are going digital, new startups are launching every day, and powerful new technologies like AI are changing the game. All of this new data needs to be protected. And that leads directly to the second driver, complex new regulation. As companies operate globally, they have to follow a complex web of international rules. You have probably heard some of them, like GDPR in Europe, CCPA in California, HIPAA for healthcare, and new DORA regulation for financial industries. Failing to comply with these rules can lead to enormous fines. Third, we have non-stop cyber threats. With more data online, there are more targets for attackers. This is what leads to the costly data breaches we see in the news all the time. When you combine all of this, it creates a huge demand for new cybersecurity services because every new piece of technology needs governance. And that is why the need for GRC professional is higher than ever before. This slide is one of my favorite because it shows you how big the world of GRC really is. I know looking at this, it might seem a little intimidating, but I want you to think of it as universe of opportunities. As the slide says, GRC is vast. You get to specialize in what truly interests you the most. You have GRC at the core, the foundational principle we have been talking about. From that core, you can branch out into so many exciting specializations depending on what you are passionate about. Maybe you are interested in technical side, then you can dive into cybersecurity risk management. If you like rules and orders, there is cybersecurity policies and compliance. If you are a great communicator, you might love security awareness and governance. There is also third-party risk management, where you act as a gatekeeper for company. And of course, the incredibly important field of data privacy and protection. The key takeaways here is that you do not have to do everything. You get to find your niche. In the next few minutes, we are going to take a closer look at what a day in the life looks like for some of these specializations. Let's look at our first specialization, data privacy and protection. This is an incredibly important field. If you are passionate about user rights and you are detail oriented person, this could be the perfect path for you. your main focus is on protecting personal data and helping your company navigate complex privacy rules like GDPR and CCPA. So what does a day in the life look like for a privacy professional? Imagine your company is about to launch a new app feature. You are the one who reviews it before it goes live, making sure it fully compliant with all privacy rules. If this sounds exciting, there are some great certification to look into for this path, like CIPP, CIPM, and CDPSC. Next up, let's talk about a specialization that is more important now than ever before. Third party risk management. In this role, as slide says, you are the gatekeeper. Think about it. Your company does not operate in bubble. It works with hundred of other vendors, partners, and suppliers. Your job is to assess them and make sure their security is strong enough so that they do not become a backdoor into your company. Here is the typical task you might handle. Well, imagine the business wants to sign a contract with a new software vendor. Before any ink hits the paper, you are the one who reviews that vendor's security posture, reads their audit reports, and give them the green light. You are the critical line of defense. For those interested in this path, some key certifications to look into are CISA, ISO lead auditor. Alright, if you are someone who loves to do more hands-on and technical, this next specialization might be for you. Cybersecurity risk management. In this, you get to be the investigator. You are the one actively testing systems and controls, trying to find weakness before the bad guys do. Your job is to provide that crucial assurance to leadership that defenses are working as expected. What does a day in the life of a risk assessor looks like? Well, you might be performing hands-on tests of your company's firewall configuration to make sure they are protecting the network and meeting company policy. For this path, you will want to look at certification like CEH, ISO 27001, CompTIA Security Plus. Let's talk about our next specialization, cybersecurity policy and compliance. If you are the kind of person who likes to bring order and clarity to complex situations, this might be the perfect path for you. In this role, your main job is to ensure company follows all specific industry regulations and laws, whether that's for banking and healthcare. But here is the real superpower of a compliance specialist. You translate complicated legal jargons into clear business requirement that people can actually understand and follow. So what does a day in the life look like? Well, you might be spending your morning monitoring new guidelines from a central bank like RBI. And then your job is to explain to business exactly how to implement these required changes. You are the crucial bridge between the regulators and the company. Some of the key certifications that will help you in this path is CISA, CRISC, and ISO 27001. Now let's talk about a role that's all about people and data, security awareness and governance. Think of the awareness part of this job as being the company's in-house security coach. Your job is to make sure every employee understands latest threats and know their personal role in protecting the company. So what does that look like? One day you might be creating an awareness campaign about a new phishing scam. The next you could be running a phishing simulation to see how many employees clicked a fake link and then providing a targeted training to those who do. The governance part is where you become the scorekeeper. It's your job is to make sure security KPIs and metrics are in place. This means that you would be tracking those phishing simulation results and then creating a report for leadership that shows how companies' awareness is improving over time. For this path, key certification to look into is CISA, CIGIT. But what does the long-term journey look like? How do you go from a junior analyst all the way to the top to becoming a CISO? It can seem like a long road, but I have broken it down into four simple logical stages that anyone can follow. It all begins with the stage 1, building your foundation. From there, you move to the stage 2, developing your practical skill. Next comes stage 3, gaining real world experience. And finally, that leads to the stage 4, growing into a leadership role. So let's break it down and start at the very beginning with the stage 1, building your foundation. Your goal here is to build a solid base so you can speak the language of security. First, you will need the IT basics. You do not have to be the system expert, but you should understand how networks and operating system work. Next, focus on core security principle. We have talked about CI triad. This is where the knowledge is essential. And finally, start getting familiar with key frameworks. A great place to start is with the cybersecurity framework. from NIST. CompTIA Security Plus is a fantastic goal for this foundational phase as it covers many of these basics. That brings me to the most important piece of advice on this entire slide. Do not just memorize definition for an exam. Your goal must be to understand why this control exists, what problem are they trying to solve. If you can answer that question, you are on the perfect track. We have spent the first 6 months building your knowledge. Now is the time for a step 2, building your practical toolkit. This is the fun part, where you move from theory to getting your hands dirty. Your focus for the next 6 months to 12 months will be developing core practical skills. Things like performing risk assessment, learning how to write clear security policies, and understanding how to test and audit security controls. Now, the best way to learn these skills is just start doing them. I highly recommend taking on some starter projects on your own. Challenge yourself. Perform a risk assessment for a fictional small business. Try to write a clear work from home security policy. You can even download a free trial of a GRC tool and just spend a few hours exploring its feature. My advice would be theory is good, but hands-on practical is what builds real confidence. Now for step 3, gaining experience, or as I like to call it, getting in the game. This is the step that worries people the most. They always ask, how do I get experience if I do not have experience? Let's talk about what to look for. Without a doubt, internships are your best entry point into the world of GRC. But do not overlook roles in IT support or on a help desk. These jobs are a gold mine for building foundational knowledge. When you are searching, look for key entry level job titles like GRC intern, IT control tester, junior IT auditor, or security administrator. After you have spent a few years in the game, gaining that crucial experience, you are ready for the final stage of the roadmap. This is the step 4, growing into leadership. This is where you make the most important shift of your career. From being a doer to becoming a strategic leader. Your focus is no longer just on performing individual tasks. It's about leveraging all of your experience to guide the entire business. You are not just in GRC program, you are managing the program and influencing company-wide strategy. So what does that look like in practice? It means you are the one mentoring junior analysts and helping the next generation grow. You are you are leading major GRC project like getting your company a new ISO certification. You are the person responsible for presenting risk finding to senior executives and even developing and managing security budget. This is the path that leads to the key leadership role like GRC manager, director of risk, and top job itself, the CISO role. I know we have covered a lot today, and I genuinely want to help you build your career. To do that, I have put together a full PDF of this roadmap, along with a list of resources to help you get started. To get it, just click on the secure link I have put down in the description below. And of course, if you have a specific question about your journey, please feel free to connect with me and send me a DM on LinkedIn for guidance. I truly enjoy helping people get started in this amazing field. Thank you so much for watching. I truly hope this guide was helpful. If it was, please give this video a like and be sure to subscribe Cyber Root Cause for more content like this. Stay safe and I will see you in the next video.